You're listening to the Infinite Banking Mastery Podcast. Did you know that you could build a tax-free pool of wealth that's liquid and accessible all your life while building your retirement nest egg? Gain full control of your financial future and stop relying on the government and banks. The wealthy have already discovered this wealth-building secret. Now it's your turn to get financially secure without following the conventional wisdom that keeps you in debt to banks. Now here's your host, Valerie LaRocque.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Infinite Banking Mastery Podcast. I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for listening in. Of course, I appreciate you for listening into the podcast. I hope you're doing good and haven't caught all the fall colds. I was first to catch that cold, and it's taken a little while to get rid of. So I hope you're doing well and are healthy out there. Today, I wanted to talk about the different ways to use your policy. There's the different things you can do with it. Remember, it is a holding tank, as I've said numerous times in the last few podcasts, that you can build your wealth, fund your savings into, and then use it for essentially anything. So it's a holding tank that's going to do way more for you than your savings account or a money market account. But it is an asset, not an investment. So we're not comparing this to other investments. We're comparing it to other cash flowing assets. It's just an asset that you can build up that will be cash flowing for you. And always remember too, that in the industry, we consider this an and asset rather than an or asset, rather than having to choose, am I going to invest in this thing over here that I'm passionate about, or some sort of investment in the market or real estate, or am I going to fund my life insurance policy? That's not it at all. You will be able to do both. You can fund your whole life policy and fund anything else that you are interested in, that you're passionate about, that you want to save into or invest into. So this asset is so awesome that over 3,200 banks happen to have billions of their dollars in this asset. So it's something that banks are aware of. They are buying a lot of. It's called bank-owned life insurance, BOLI. You can look that up. And so it's something that you can be doing and building your wealth into and then using it for other things. Remember that the infinite banking concept is the most efficient way to save and at the same time use your money. I mean, just when I say that, I know people are like, what? How do I save and use my money at the same time? So it's the most efficient and really the only way, almost one of the only ways to be able to do that. I mean, you could borrow on margin against your investment accounts or something, but this account is going to be guaranteed to grow, unlike borrowing against your investments in the market. And I really like the G word. I really like being able to say that my account is guaranteed to grow. Guaranteed to grow while I'm building this up and able to use it for anything that I want, need, or desire to invest in. There's really nothing better. Your policy will be growing tax deferred. It will be accessible, income tax free. It'll be without the stock market volatility, and will have no management fees. I mean, what can be better? So what are some of the different ways to use my policy? Well, first of all, I would say it's a good place to build up an emergency fund. A lot of people have their emergency fund in a savings account somewhere. Why not move it into your whole life policy? You can build up those funds, 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. You can have that in your life insurance policy and accessible when you need it. Or if you have those funds sitting in an account already, we can have a plan to move those into a policy. And that way you have your funds in there and your policy working for you for the rest of your life. It's going to be earning for you guaranteed crediting rate and dividends. It's going to be doing a lot more for you than sitting in your bank account. Maybe you also would like to store your vacation funds in your whole life policy. A lot of people will build a vacation fund separately. They'll put money in an envelope or they'll put it in a separate bank account and allocate this certain account for their vacations. And once it reaches a certain amount, then they'll go on vacation. So why not store your vacation funds inside of your whole life policy? You'll be able to access them for vacation just as always, and you'll be locking in the earning power of all those dollars before you take them out and go on vacation. Or maybe you're planning to buy a new car. sometime soon. And you're thinking, well, I can save up that down payment, or I can save up for my car and buy it in cash. Or if you have a large enough amount inside of your policy, maybe you take all the cash out of your policy or borrow against it and go out and buy a new car, and then create the car payment that you would have paid to the car company, Ford, Honda, whichever company, the same payment you would have paid with interest, and just pay that back to yourself to replenish the funds you took for the car. And that value of funds will be earning for you the whole entire time. Another thing a lot of people will look to their policies or use them for is a debt payoff system to outside banks. So being able to pay off that debt to other banks that you have credit card debts with, or school loans, or your mortgage. Sometimes people want to pay off their mortgage. I think it's a great way, it's a good idea if that's a goal of yours to pay off your mortgage, to house that money inside of your policy first before you take it out and pay off your mortgage, because you'll have that ability to pay off your mortgage whenever you want if you're building up those funds with a high enough premium. And in the meantime, those funds will be earning for you. They'll be accessible for any other opportunity that comes your way. And then you can simply choose, when you have built enough funds in there, if you would like to pay off your mortgage or not. That's just a personal decision for people. If they plan to live in their house for the rest of their lives, then maybe they would like to not have that stress of having that mortgage payment. But also, instead of just paying it down every single month, maybe redirect those funds to your policy, and then you still will have the opportunity to pay down your house. But all along the way, you will have been able to capture the earning power of those dollars before you turn around and pay off something like your mortgage. Or when we're doing that with other debts, of course, you can redirect that money and then redirect those payments that you were used to making to those other debts back to your system. So you're replenishing those funds so that you can recycle them for future use to pay off another debt, or to pay off something else, or for, again, the down payment on your car or vacation or something. Another use that a lot of people will use their policy for would be for funding something that their business needs. They will build up these funds and take a business loan against the policy, or take a business loan from themselves, essentially. And then we would prepare the promissory note and the amortization schedule for your CPA. You can submit that to them, and then they can take care of the tax side of things. But building up an account and then being able to use it for your business funding needs is an excellent use of the policy. And then you are able to do more with those same dollars. Real estate investing is definitely something that has become very popular in recent years. Real estate and whole life, they go hand in hand. They work very well together. Whether you're building up to be able to buy real estate and flip that real estate and then replenish your policy that way, or if you're saving up to be able to buy a rental real estate, and then now you have your rental income funneling back into your policy to replenish for the loans. That all the real estate investing out there, very popular with whole life, combining the two together. It is an excellent way to grow your life insurance asset and your real estate portfolio and have them work really well together. Aside from that, really any other investment that you're passionate about, you can use your policy for. It's a great way, and the best way really, for you to build on your investment portfolio, your real estate portfolio, your retirement savings portfolio, to be able to funnel the funds through your policy first, and then turn around and invest in whatever it is that you're passionate about to grow your overall wealth and to grow your overall portfolio. So when it comes down to different ways to use your policy, well, you can really just do anything you want. And that's what's awesome about the whole life policy and the infinite banking concept, is that you have full control, full flexibility, full control of how you're paying it back and when you're paying it back and how much you're funding. And then you have the flexibility of the premium, because of the two parts to the premium, which are the base and the paid up additions. The paid up additions can be very flexible. And remember that how the policy is constructed will determine how flexible and how cash efficient your policy is. It can either be very flexible and very cash efficient for growth, or not very cash efficient. When I say not very cash efficient, what I'm meaning is basically $0 in year one are available, or the first couple years there's almost no money available. Also, you can build it in that more traditional way, I guess you could say, where the premium's not flexible because you don't have that paid up additions rider. So the whole premium needs to be paid. You don't have that flexibility to drop off a portion of the premium or pay a certain chunk of it or skip it for a year. You don't have that option when you are building it in an inflexible way. And that would be the more traditional way of building the contract where there's that no flexibility. And that's really what the financial gurus out there are referring to when they're saying, don't put your money in whole life. Whole life is not a good place to put your money. I think that they're really thinking about the more traditional way of building the policy where there is no cash available in year one or very little. And so again, that's why it's super important when you're thinking about utilizing this strategy and working with this concept to find an IBC practitioner or someone who really knows what they're doing, who's been well mentored and who knows how to build these well for your situation, for your plan to pay premium, or how long you're going to pay the premium, how much you can pay a certain amount. These policies really are very customizable and should be customized to fit your particular needs, your budget, your plan for premium, your ability to pay and how long and the amount, what your needs are, what your liquidity needs are, and your plan to retire, when you're planning to stop working, and just so many different things factor in. So it's really important that you work with someone knowledgeable who can help make sure that all those things are aligned and in your best interest. So, of course, I would love to help you. So feel free to reach out to me at Valerie@alphaomegawealth.com. I would love to advise you and work with you. If you feel that I would be a good fit for you and you would like to work with me as your advisor, please reach out and let's connect and figure out what we could build for you that would be in your best interest and fitting to your plans and your retirement needs, your retirement plans and your liquidity plans, or whatever it is that you want to invest in, how we can build this to best fit your needs. So as always, I look forward to sharing with you again in another week. I hope that this podcast today helped to get your creative juices flowing for what you will be able to use your policy for. And I hope that you're able to get out there and enjoy these last few days of summer. Take care.
This is the podcastfactory.com.